Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of Friday Night WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
What's up, people? We're going to talk about some wrestling. A lot of it bad, some of it good.
Yes, and most of it bad. We're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, whoa. Oh, okay. There you go.
Yay, Backlash.
And we're also joined by Mr. Ricardo Negron. How's it going, Ricky?
Going all right. I can't wait to talk about Backlash.
Absolutely. A very fitting name also, because it's going to receive a lot of backlash tonight. But before we get into that, we're going to have Dana let us know some of the interesting news stories from this week. So, Dana, the floor is yours, and Adam, cue the music.
Oh my God, here we go.
Okay, this is going to be really short and simple. I hate everyone out there who believe that John Cena and Nikki Bella were actually in a relationship that, are now separated. Because of you guys, Total Divas has been renewed for 2 more seasons. So thank you. The whole John Cena, Nikki Bella storyline is getting a lot of play. If you guys know, it's made news. It's on People. It's on newsstands. It's in the hearts of lonely Americans or whatever. Anyway, we have 2 more seasons, and now it seems that John Cena, for the show, because remember, this is not a real relationship, he is back in the dating game. Just after they canceled their wedding, Total Divas star, Nikki Bella, she decided she's moving in with her sister, Brie and Daniel. John Cena will now be dating WWE. Now, it's rumored, but it seems like he's going to have a storyline with WWE's SmackDown Live Women's Champion, Carmella.
Fake news. I don't believe
Who
that.
knows?
I don't believe that one bit. There's no reason for that. Come on.
Look, okay? So the whole Total Bellas is having, that big spinoff show. It's going to be Nikki and Brie, and she's crying over John. Oh my goodness, I don't believe it happened. And, Daniel's going to be there to comfort her, and John Cena's going to live with that bachelor life. And so it's reported Carmella's going to be the one that's joining the party with him. So who knows? But
what's the story with Big Cats? Because didn't they buy a house together?
They did buy a house. That was the story. They bought a house together.
Is she still living in that house? Did he get the house?
I don't know who has the house. Probably he has the house.
I mean, I don't know what happened with that relationship, but I will say perhaps this is another reason why he was disgruntled when he came back and attacked Daniel Bryan. So.
It could also explain why Carmella's getting the push that she's getting, which we'll get into very shortly.
Stop. All 4 horsemen of the MMA are now WWE superstars. So, yay. And this also means that I might get my wish and get the 4 horsewomen of the MMA versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE. WrestleMania next year. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal is advertised on Raw house shows through July. And their storyline could last until Roman's SummerSlam feud begins. So we're going to get more Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. I know you guys are really excited about that.
Whatever.
Yay. Toni Storm has signed with WWE. Yay. Charlotte lost a tooth in a house show, so she's undergoing surgery. She's not having a very good time when it comes to injury. Remember, she popped a boob last week and had to go into surgery for that. And she lost a tooth this week. And she
How did she lose this tooth?
She was in a dark match. She lost a tooth. But, Also, Xavier Woods is injured by Cesaro. He ended up with an injury on his tongue. He has a hole and 2 partials. And he's saying that, he's probably not going to be able to speak until it heals. And eating will be a struggle.
Thank God. We don't need you talking.
Stop. That's not nice. Big Cass, as we all saw, we'll talk about a little bit later with his whole segment on SmackDown. But during the segment of SmackDown, when they had a little person dressed as Daniel Bryan, remember he gave him the big boot and then he started beating him up some more? He is in a lot of trouble backstage because he was just supposed to give a big boot and that was it. However, he felt that it wasn't authentic and he wanted to add some spice and flavor to the whole segment. So he went in a little bit more and started, going in on the guy. And Vince McMahon is reportedly to be very unhappy about the whole situation. Samoa Joe recently did an interview saying that, it's not fair that people are accusing WWE of ruining the indies and that it's the independent scene's fault because they're not paying the guys what they're worth. And
they never did.
They never did. So.
I mean, people keep saying, well, it's Ring of Honor. I mean, go listen to Kevin Owens when he was on Cole Cabana's show talking about his time over there. He liked the people, but he was like, man, they don't get paid. Almost no one besides some of the big guys get legit contracts like the Briscoes and what's his name, Jay Lethal. But a lot of guys, they're just getting paid by appearance.
Yeah.
And they just be thankful that they got TV time.
Mm-hmm. So he's saying you got to lay off WWE. If you want your wrestlers to stay where they're at, pay them more. It is not WWE's fault that they have the money and that they're willing to pay people. So,
and remember, that's the reason why people get into it. When you have guys, well, I want to work this and that. That's only after they make the big checks. Once they make the big checks, and they got a shitload of money in the bank, they're like, yeah, I can go out there. I'll do a Cody, I'll do a Christian, But when you don't have that money and you're hungry, go read Mick Foley's book. Have a nice day. I've read that one. He was doing shows where he was bleeding his ass off, getting all kinds of damage, and he was only making $10-15 a match.
Yep. Well, remember the one they paid him in pizza? That was one.
Paid him food. Okay.
Yep.
So when you go to see them at your local high school gym, just understand they're not getting big bucks.
Not at all. So redirect the anger elsewhere is what he's saying. Lita has spoken out against the greatest Royal Rumble and the whole "we have no females" debacle. She says that they understand that it's a business, it's a global business, and that they're always looking to expand the global presence. However, I do feel it's a direct conflict of interest with them maintaining any integrity or truth to the fact that they say they would like to push forward women and their roles and their representation in the industry as anything remotely resembling and equal to a male. Make the money, that's fine, but don't try to cover it up and be like, no, we are doing this because we want to do business in the future to be able to help progression and to move their culture forward. No, say that you wanted money and that it's fine. You're a business and businesses make money. That's okay. So she just wants them to own up to them wanting money and to stop saying that they're doing it to promote progression. Even though women will be allowed to compete in 2020 over Saudi Arabia. So
that's going to be interesting. I want to see that show.
Yeah,
how are they going to pull that off?
I don't know. As we all saw during Backlash, people left during the whole Roman Reigns match with Samoa Joe. And apparently this was an eye-opener for Vince McMahon. It's been said that he finally realizes that the people don't want Roman Reigns. And I've been saying this before, the booing is not going to work because all they see, that's a reaction. Cheering, that's not going to work because, they want that cheering. What's the best way to protest? Just leave.
Walk out. Just leave.
So everybody walked out. If anyone was looking online or was at the event, you just saw tons of people leaving and there were just empty seats everywhere. So because of that, Vince McMahon is very disheartened. He's upset. And now WWE does not know what to do with Roman. It's been said that they're trying to tell a story And I can't believe it because they've been trying for a couple of months. But they're still trying to tell that story that Roman Reigns is Daniel Bryan and management is screwing him over. And that's why he's not the champion. But nobody buys it. They're trying to figure out a way to get people to cheer him. We're supposed to think that all these things that happened, the whole thing that they favor Brock Lesnar, but it didn't work. I guess for whatever reason, even though it didn't work, nobody has a better idea. So that's why he's going to end up feuding with Jinder Mahal for a couple months now. So they have no other ideas. They don't know what to do. So they're going to concentrate their energy on promoting and pushing someone else instead. So we finally got what we want. Yay!
Yeah, there you go.
I'll believe it when I see it. I really think that you can't underestimate the fact that the show went late. It was a Sunday night. Got to bring the kids to school the next day. You know, it's like 11:30 where it was. People couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. And of course, it was a terrible show, so that's part of it too. But I think that a lot of it was just that they took too long. And so I think people are kind of making a mountain out of an anthill here, whatever that saying is, regarding that. I don't think this is going to stop the Roman Reigns push at all.
Okay, Debbie Downer.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I actually heard something that they've already debunked that whole theory that Vince McMahon is down on it. And it was just like, oh, yeah, you know, it was late and people had to leave early. It's like, it's whatever, you know. The Jinder Mahal thing is just that they have to. It's a filler. It's a filler thing until they get to SummerSlam. The same way that Roman Reigns once had a little feud with the Big Show or with Kane before WrestleMania years back. It's just filler. I wouldn't look too deep into it, you know. And trust me, I can't stand the way they're pushing Roman Reigns, but this is just the reality of it. SummerSlam, he's going to be main eventing again. Let's just face it.
Oh, boo. Also, Brandy Rhodes from Ring of Honor has been wrestling with 2 broken clavicle bones, and she didn't know it the whole time. Yeah.
I didn't even know she was wrestling.
Yes.
When I watch Ring of Honor, I never see her wrestle, so maybe it hasn't aired yet, but
she's been wrestling. You know, she's improved. Not bad, but yeah, she's been in there, and basically she broke 2 of her clavicles, and she broke some other bones in her body, so she's going to be out. So I guess she won't miss that, but she will be out. And you know that seems to be everything for the week. It was kind of a slow week.
Bum 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 bum. Oh, there we go. That was a sigh of like, oh.
Oh, that sounds like
oh.
Oh.
Is Kenny Omega coming? No. Oh.
Oh.
Is Bobby Lashley going against Brock Lesnar? Oh.
Yep.
Roman Reigns is knocked out. Wait. Oh.
But we got Lucha Underground season 4.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get to see the new trailer. I heard it's pretty good.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Netflix? Is it
on Netflix? Yeah, it should be on Netflix.
Okay.
No. Right. No Netflix.
No Netflix.
No, man, you don't get that Netflix. That's on because it's new. The only thing that's on Netflix is the last 2 seasons. I mean, you could look it up now to see if there's season 3, but I know it was just season 1 and 2. And this season it's still on the El Rey network. They didn't sign that well, shouldn't say they didn't sign it, just Netflix didn't pick them up because the word was that they were in talks of getting picked up by Netflix to be a Netflix original series based on the hits or views of season 1 and 2. But who knows? We don't see numbers, so no one knows how many people watched it on there, but it didn't happen. That much we do know.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So it's still on the El Rey network.
All right.
And the internet too. They got an official YouTube page. But if not, there's like a bunch of people on YouTube that they bootleg it. So the day after the show, just type in Lucha Underground or whatever episode or the date, and you'll see the full thing. And they never shut them down. They never go after them. They're not like WWE and stuff. So
All right, so you know what, Adam, as a fan of Lucha Underground, you should not have said that information because you should want people to watch the show.
No, I can't, but not everybody has the LA network. That's the problem. It's mainly West Coast. I don't have it here. You don't have it where you're at.
Oh no, I won't. So I will not be able to watch.
And yeah, so unless you have a Sling box and you're paying the $20 a month for Sling because it is on Slingbox, and there is no subscription of just the El Rey network online. Like, oh, sign into the site, $5 then yeah, go ahead, promote it. They don't have that though.
Okay, so we need to work on that. We need to close the deal with them. So yeah, we can get more people to watch the show. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, hook it up. I remember I told you I sent them messages. We need to stick Sister Dana over here on them. She can make things happen, So you know what? Yeah, Dana, let's talk after the show about you reaching out to Lucha and see what we could do.
Yeah.
No problem. Absolutely no problem.
All right,
the trailer for season 4 is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. We're all about wrestling. We're all about that crazy Lucha style. We'll promote them. We'll give them a segment. We can do that.
We can definitely do that.
Absolutely.
Some Johnny Mundo.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about some positive news in wrestling instead of all this bullshit and fucking crap that WWE is spewing out.
Well, no. Well, now that you said that, we do have to segue exactly to that particular topic. But no, thank you, Dana, for the news. Now, so now we need to have a discussion about Backlash. Obviously, our last podcast, it was a Backlash prediction show. I thought the show was great as always. But the actual Backlash show was complete garbage. So, rather than spend time going over every single match, because I don't really think that this pay-per-view is worthy of even that, taking time to do any of that. I wanted to ask you guys, which 3 matches do you think were the absolute worst on this particular card? And if there was a positive match, which match you think was positive? So, Ricky, I'm going to have you go first. Yeah, see? Switch it up.
Oh boy, I'm like a kid at Christmas right now. Let's see. So let's start with the positive, because it's like asking me what's the 3 worst ones is very tough. There's a lot of candidates. It's a lot of worthy candidates for the worst match. But I'm going to say the positive was definitely the Intercontinental Championship match with Seth Rollins and The Miz. Even though, everyone and their moms knew that Seth Rollins was retaining the belt, simply because, Miz is not going to, they're not going to take 2 mid-card belts, over to SmackDown. I thought they put on a hell of a match. Rollins carried it for the most part, I think, but, Miz did a solid job, and, the crowd was into it. I think that they made a big mistake in having them start the pay-per-view with it, because they peaked too early, after the match, I thought, wow, this might actually be a pretty damn good show, all things considered. And then we learned very quickly that was not the case. Let me get right into the whole crap fest here. I am gonna see. Oh my God, this is difficult because there's a lot of bad things. I'm gonna start. No, for real. I'm going to start out with the most obvious to me, which was the main event that everyone walked out on. The Roman Reigns Samoa Joe thing. Come on. So for one thing, the WWE title match did not main event, and it was instead a one-on-one, singles match with nothing at stake between 2 guys, different brands, on a feud that they just started like a couple of weeks ago. Like, give me a fucking break. And to top it off, we're going to have, Samoa Joe do all these submission holds because, the people love him and we need them to cheer for Reigns. They'll boo Samoa Joe for being boring, and they'll cheer for Reigns. And it didn't work out like that. It did not work out like that at all. Instead, the fans were just, they left. They were tired of it. And, the part that really set me off was Samoa Joe doing the coquina clutch on Roman Reigns, and you could see very clearly that Reigns was out. His eyes were up on his head. The referee even tried checking his arm. He was out cold for like a solid 10 seconds. And in every match that you would have in that situation, the referee will ring the bell. The referee was waiting for Roman Reigns to die. They were waiting for him to turn blue or something. I don't know what the fuck he was waiting for, but I just know that all of a sudden when Roman Reigns hooked up, everyone in that arena and myself at home, we all booed. And it was like, oh God, here we go. And then I think it was just like a matter of like a couple minutes later, spear 1, 2, 3, let's all get the fuck out of here and pretend this never happened, kind of ending, and that broke me, and I'll get into that in a second. But, it broke my spirit, it broke my will. But okay, so that was definitely one. Let me see. Number 2, I'm going to go with the WWE Championship match, and not because the match itself was bad. It was pretty decent. Disappointing in the sense that these two guys, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, should be able to tear the house down every time they're in the ring. And I feel like they're not quite doing that, regardless of how these finishes have gone. But the finishes are just, it felt like we were all kicked in the nuts when they ended a no disqualification match in a double countout. A double countout. Like, I understand, like, it's like, oh, it's knockout or whatever. They're in the ring. But who does that? Who does that? It should be no disqualification. It's only pinfall or submission. That's it. And then they end it like that. It's like, I don't know where they're going with this. Like, I would have understood if they did it that way at the Saudi Arabia show, because that way it'd be like, okay, this was a draw. Do it like that, fine. But you're gonna have this on the third match of the feud. I'm done with it. I don't care about the next match these guys have, because who knows? They might draw it out to a 5th one. That's how I see it. It's pretty bad when you get 2 of the best talents in the world on the roster, and I don't want to see them fight each other anymore. That's how bad things have gotten. That's 2. The third one, man, oh my goodness, I don't know. I'll leave you guys to do some of the other ones. I'll say that for the third one, I'll say Carmella beating Charlotte clean was a load of dog shit. Because I'm a fan of Asuka, and I felt like, okay, I understood Asuka dropping the streak in New Orleans to Charlotte and all that. It's like, okay, fine. I didn't like the way they went about it by having her tap out in record time, but hey, that's what they did. But then you had Carmella take the belt off Charlotte like right after. And then not only that, you have Carmella beat Charlotte clean. Beat her clean. There was no Iconics or anything like that. There was no cheating. It was just a clean victory. Like, okay, yeah, Charlotte landed awkwardly doing a backflip and all this stuff. Like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be convinced that Asuka couldn't beat Charlotte clean, but Carmella could? Oh, are we serious? Right? Like, no. Oh no. I'm sorry. And any Carmella fans out there listening, I apologize. Even though she's claiming to be from Staten Island, she's actually from Massachusetts. She's one of us.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So, yeah. She was born in Massachusetts. Yeah. So I'm happy for her that she has a chance to have the title and all that. But come on. Like none of this makes any sense. None of it makes any sense. Yeah. So you guys can talk about the rest of Backlash. I'm gonna go throw up in a corner or something like that. It was just awful show. I'm done. They've broken my spirit. I'm done with watching the weekly shows, at least until Money in the Bank. I'll give them till Money in the Bank to make things right. But until then, no. I'm done with that for now.
Uh-oh. Ouch. That hurts.
He's starting to me.
Yeah. He said
I never wanted to get to that level. Oh,
you're me. I love it. This is amazing.
Yeah. You made a mistake, Ricky, when you said broken. Though you're supposed to say woken. So you're woken now to what's going on in WWE. So that's what you're supposed to say. But it's all right.
Oh no, I'm all about I'm all about copyright infringement and whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could screw off.
Hey, yeah. Well, hey, listen. So you know, because you so you know, I agree with a lot of what you said. I have some things to say as well, but I'm going to let Dana go next because I'm curious if Dana has any other matches that are going to be different from what you have already said. So
can we talk about the don't be a bully, be a star, be extraordinary?
Oh, yes.
Who wants to be ordinary? Be extraordinary. Your uniqueness is what makes you special, and that is beautiful. Oh my God.
This is what I'm talking about. It's so difficult to pick just one. That was one of the worst promos ever.
Yeah, and this also is coming from a character that used to bully the other people on the roster, and when she inevitably turns heel, she will go right back to that same character.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that whole thing was so painful, and it was so many botches, and she couldn't like fully wrestle. Like, how can you not do a Samoan drop? Like, it was like a weird Samoan drop she kept doing. Yeah, no, the match was awful. The crowd was dead. That whole ending, just wow. I wanted to just stab myself after hearing that. That was painful. Wow. And I said, and as she was doing it, I said, please don't do it. Please don't say, don't be a bully, be a star. And she did it. And you know what I would have loved if Nia turned heel at that moment, and she would have made that whole speech sarcastic and heelish. And if Alexa was like still in the ring and she said it like right in her face, and she like grabbed her and was like, don't be a bully, be a star, and then like hit her in the face and then just walked off, that would have been fine. But the whole fake crying and the oh my God, yeah, that was the worst thing like in a while. Like, it was just really, really bad. The Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton thing was pretty terrible as well. I love how none of the championships changed hands, hardly. I don't think nothing changed. So it was just like, why am I watching this at all? But the Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton was just bad as well. The crowd really hated this whole pay-per-view. Because aside from like, there was only one match that was truly amazing, but everything else was just poopy pants. So yeah, the crowd wasn't into it. That was just boring. Hardy won clean, but like, who really cares? And you said only 3. I can only pick 3.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to only pick 3. Why are you doing this to me? How are you going to do this and say only pick 3 when the whole thing was bad?
It's the most difficult podcast we've ever done.
Oh no! Like, come on now.
Yeah, it is. Like, okay, only because of my hatred, I'm putting Bobby Lashley in there because that was crappy. God, that was crappy. Did they even build this match up? I don't even remember them building this match.
See, here's the thing. They did have their little interactions on Raw, but one comment I will make about this match is to why it is horrible. From the stuff that you said, but also at one point they had Bobby Lashley does his signature pick up a wrestler, but he couldn't even hold it for a long period of time.
Yes, that's going to be yes. I am adding this. He almost dropped. You guys already know. See, I'm telling you, Bobby Lashley is horrible, and I've been saying this from the very beginning, and now I finally have proof again that he is horrible. He can't speak. His matches are boring, and he can't even pick up a guy. Why did they sign him? I do not understand. He's not even on Brock Lesnar level. Like, yeah, Brock doesn't even hardly wrestle, and they just came out with like he only wrestled 10 times out of like the whole year, or like the whole, since he's had the belt, it's been like 10 times. And this dude can't even pick up someone. But no, let's not love Bobby Lashley. But yeah, that match was garbage juice. That was horrible.
This is why Lashley came back in the middle of a Raw and not to end the WrestleMania. He's just not that big of a deal.
No, he's not. This is. I would say it's comparable to Batista, but Batista actually deserved to be back. The fans it was just bad timing. I wish they would give Bobby the same treatment that they gave Batista. But anyway, this whole thing was just a mess. So that's my top 3. Bobby Lashley can't even pick up somebody, but let's go sign him a contract. Weak little legs. Okay.
You mean you didn't love his brainbuster on Big Cass? Yeah, brainbuster.
Oh, there you go. Brain busters. There you go.
Jeez Louise.
All right, so Adam, I already know that you're a Bobby Lashley fan, so you may have something to say about that. But
I just don't get it. I don't know what's going on with Bobby. This is not the Bobby that I know.
Oh, it isn't?
I don't know. It's not. I mean, I've been watching him in
the Bobby I know.
This is, the only thing I can think of is that we know that this is what WWE does, is that they say, all right, listen, these are the moves we want you to do. We know you can do them. Just do them every night. Okay? Thanks. Bye. That's it. And so that's a move, that's a heavy duty move. He didn't do that every night. That wasn't even something I remember him seeing. In fact, his main finisher was like this really devastating spear, and he did a lot of big heavy moves, but for some reason they don't have him doing any of that. But there could be something else to it, because if you remember seeing it, he looks very winded. He looks very tired, and I remember after the match, like, he had his hands on his legs and stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something else going on. Maybe
Wait, hold on. Wait, who? You said Cena?
Bobby.
Oh, Bobby. Okay, yeah.
Bobby.
I'm about to say, okay.
So maybe he's dealing with some health issues.
I hope not. He looks like he's in good shape. So I don't know what's.
No. I mean, just meaning like a cold or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So what were your 3 worst matches of Backlash?
Well, we already know why they did the whole thing with Charlotte quick, because she's got other things going on, health issues, stuff going on, like with the boob and all that other stuff that was leaking for weeks, and she needed time off, so there goes that. And we were, like you said, it was pointless for that Samoa Joe match. That was just no point. Everybody knew there was no point to it. Like, what's going to happen? There's nothing. Nothing's going to happen. And it's not like it was for a title, because Roman didn't win the title. So why should we watch this? So I don't see why anyone's surprised, especially Vince, why he's surprised people left. People don't want to see Roman wrestle. Period. It's gotten to the point that they just don't care about him. And it's not like Cena. People are like, oh, well, remember Cena? No, Cena can talk his way into a match. Cena has charisma. Cena, when people boo and do all this stuff, but when he gets on the mic, they do shut up. They listen to him. He's entertaining in that aspect. Roman doesn't have that. Roman is all looks. All looks. Can he take good bumps? Yeah, he can take good bumps. Does he know how to do any other moves besides Superman punch, spear? I don't know.
No,
because they don't let him do it, or he really doesn't know. And I doubt that he doesn't know, because look at all the boys in the back. I'm sure somebody said, let me show you a few moves here and there. So he needs to change up, and that's the thing. Everybody else from the Shield, they've all changed up. He hasn't. He's still coming out looking like some weird SWAT team member. It just doesn't.
And the same music, the exact same music.
Yeah, the same music, and it's just everything about it. And when he tried to be himself, the little snarkiness that he shows, it's like, no, it doesn't fit him. It doesn't look right. Nothing feels right. And it was like, well, you used to like him before, but he fit a role when he was with the Shields. He was like the strong guy. He was the big man. Hey, we need a finisher. We need somebody to come and help clean house. We're all beat up, and they would tag him in, and he would come and clean house. Remember who the mouthpiece was of that group? That was Ambrose. Yeah. Ambrose was the mouthpiece. Then occasionally you would have Seth come in with stuff, but the big man, Roman, he stood in the back. He was just a muscle. So when you try to take someone that's just a muscle and make him into this big superstar, it's not going to happen. Not like that. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. And granted, they gave him time, but they've also took a lot of skills away from him. Like I said, with the whole move set and the gimmick and all that stuff, there's nothing else there. He's very bland. And then I remember when he also, same thing, the spear, Superman punch, that was special. When you saw the Superman punch, he did it once or twice, and you're like, oh shit. When he's doing it 6, 7 times, you know, and he's constantly spearing and then doing that run against the rope to do the super spear. Come on now. You know, we don't need to see that. So
yeah, you're right about that.
That's why it's like it's just it's a shame, but hopefully this will be the best thing for him. You know, it's sort of like what happened with 205 and with Enzo, and you know they put him in there, and everything was about Enzo, and it brought the card down, it brought the whole division down, and once he was out, the quality, everything went right up. You know, because now you get the people there that really know how to work to shine. You let them shine. You have some good matches. You know, now it's back to the matches and the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Not about, you know, who can talk on the mic and do the gimmick, which is sad because Roman can't even do that part. So we just keep getting him forced. I'm still baffled by when they're like, all right, he's going to get his rematch over in Saudi Arabia in a cage. How do you get a rematch if you lost? You know what I mean? You know, the champion gets the rematch.
Yeah.
Unless they screwed up and that was the plan, he was supposed to win, then yeah, Brock can get his rematch in Saudi Arabia. A loser doesn't get a rematch right away. That doesn't happen.
Ouch.
If that was the case, what happened with Braun's rematch? If that's the case, what happened with Samoa Joe's rematch with Brock? Where are these rematches? Oh no, we don't see those.
Yep.
And then when you do stuff like that, you make it so damn obvious of what you're trying to do that you just piss people off. Like, why am I watching this shit? Why? Because they're just going to keep forcing this guy down my throat. He's in every damn major match type. You know, that he's squashing all the other top guys for some damn reason. They have the nerve to say, yeah, it looks like he's on the right track to getting Brock again. For what? He can't beat the man. And if he finally beats him, that's 1 versus 10. Come on now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. You said you get fans no longer interested in the product, like Ricky, pretty much.
Yeah, Ricky over here, for you people listening, is talking about retiring. He was, I'm going to submit my wrestling card. You know, my membership card is about to expire, and I'm not renewing that shit.
You have to understand it's a Terry Funk retirement.
It's a Terry Funk retirement.
I don't know about that. And it sounds to me like if somebody did not see Avengers Infinity War yet, don't listen, but it sounds like Ricky will be disappearing at the end of this podcast.
I saw it. I saw it, and for the people who haven't seen it, we're not going to discuss it. There's no spoilers, but definitely watch it. Yeah. On the topic of Roman Reigns, actually, wait, Adam, did you have other matches, or was that?
No, that was it. Those are that, and of course the Shinsuke versus AJ, the double nut shot.
Yeah, nut shot.
That was horrible. I sent that GIF out because that was being passed around. It's like this is like a smack in the face to everybody that was wanting to see this. They even hyped it. Oh, this is a dream match. This is what people want. This is what people want. No, people want a match. People didn't want to see this shit. You know, DQs and count outs and stuff. What is going on here?
Well, you know what's going to happen, right?
I don't get it. And it's like here it is. You give Shinsuke the new gimmick, which is great. He's a perfect heel. And then you have this happening constantly. Have him win as a heel and take the belt off of AJ and then keep kicking him in the nuts later down the road. But don't keep ending matches like this. Nobody wants to see it. It's like, crying wolf, you keep crying wolf, and then when it finally shows up, too late. And that's it. By the time they actually get to the quality match, no one's going to give a shit because I'm like, how many of these bullshit matches we've seen? They're not going to really give it to us. It's going to be a squash. So what's the point? So
well, it's not over. You heard what they said on SmackDown. It's not over. It's what Paige said. It's not over. So
it's over in my eyes. It's over. They killed it. They killed it.
I'm the only one who liked that.
Yeah. So, I do have some things I will say on the pay-per-view, but no, Ricky, you were going to say something about Roman Reigns, so go ahead.
Oh, Roman Reigns was that God. So they have him beat out Joe, who's supposed to try to get into the WWE title picture, but now he looks like a geek. So why should anyone give a shit if Samoa Joe is going to go for the belt? You know, he lost to Roman Reigns, and then now he's having a downgrade going against Jinder Mahal. But we're gonna hear, oh, Jinder is a former WWE champion. He held the belt for half a year. I wonder how Roman Reigns is gonna be able to beat this guy. And that's what they're gonna get for the next couple of months. Fuck out of here.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I'm just so fed up, and this narrative that they're trying to make him the next Daniel Bryan, in a sense, like, they just keep screwing him over, he should have won that cage match. It's like, no, stop it. And like, so tired of it. Go ahead, Rich. I need a break. I need a break from commentary. I need a break from wrestling. I need a break from all of it. Go ahead.
Well, we'll see if there will be truly be a break when you hear what I have to say about some of the matches. So first and foremost, let me go to the match that was already spoken about, the Seth Rollins and Miz match, which by default was the better match of the night. However, I have to say this because I know that it hasn't been said yet. The one thing I noticed about this match, as well as the Nia Jax Alexa Bliss match, is that I can hear them telling each other, do this, go, I want to do this move. You go in this direction. It was so loud with that. And, that you're not supposed to hear it like that on the live broadcast. So that was a little annoying. Now, just to stay on track with this Seth Rollins Miz match, as we've already agreed, it was a good match, yes. But the complaints that I have about the match is, number one, as I believe Ricky already said, it was predictable who was going to win because you're not going to have the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title on the same show. So therefore, there was no suspension of disbelief that the Miz actually had a shot at winning, which I didn't understand because Jeff Hardy is going against Randy Orton. Now, if Jeff Hardy was going against Jinder Mahal, then okay, and then you can really think, okay, there might be title changes of, both titles changing shows, but that didn't happen. So that was obvious. The other complaint that I have, and I noticed this, and it's starting to get annoying for me, maybe not so much you guys. Why is it every time that Seth Rollins has a match, it has to be something where he has to sell, oh, I'm having a leg issue, but I'm still jumping around. I'm still doing these finishing moves. It just got to be very annoying with me because it's like, obviously, I know you're supposed to feel sympathetic. He's a face now. He's over with the fans. So obviously, when he has the quote-unquote knee issues and they play into his history of actually having knee issues, that's fine. But I think it was a little excessive because I've seen it in a lot of other matches that he's had. So I don't understand that. But yeah, obvious that he was going to win. So it is what it is. But yeah, it was the better match. If you have to say if there was any good matches on that card, yeah, that was the only good match for me. And I think the fact that it started off the show was great because it let people know now it all goes downhill from here, which it did do. So that's good. Now, in regards to the three matches that I disliked the most, we've already spoken about Roman Reigns. I'm going to go ahead and say that definitely is in my three for a lot of the things that you guys already said. I just feel like, the one thing I find interesting about the match, everything you guys said with them pushing Reigns is very apparent. What I don't like, though, like Ricky already said, we had the scene where you could clearly see that Samoa Joe is choking out Reigns. And then all of a sudden, no, he comes back. Oh, he comes back. Super Reigns. Okay. But even before that, let's talk about the fact that when Roman Reigns came out, immediately Joe started attacking him. And then it was like the ref is taking his time, like, "Hey, are you all right? Are you okay to continue? Come on now. I mean, we already know this is Roman Reigns. This guy has been in all these main events. I mean, he is Vince's boy. I mean, he's fine. He can take. I mean, he's there to get his ass whooped, but to still main event and to still get opportunities that others don't get. So, no one should feel sympathy towards this character at this point, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, the fact that it went on last, to me, that was a very clear and direct message that Roman Reigns is still the guy. Because how are you going to put that match over a title match, a world title match? And then
because they knew the bullshit finish for that world title match, and they didn't want people going home bitter with that.
Yeah.
Yep. But you know, just to play off of what you said, I also think that was why they ended that match that way. So I feel like that both of these matches impacted each other in a sense, because they decided, because, you know, before all this happened, they're the ones who decide who's going to win the match. They probably decided, well, we want this to have a bullshit finish, so now this will make sense why we have Reigns and Samoa Joe going on last. So it's unfortunate. But I will say, if there was anyone out there that thought Samoa Joe was going to win that match, I would have to ask that person, I mean, really? You haven't been watching this product, have you? Because, you know, Roman Reigns is still the guy. So
guilty, because I pretty much predicted in the last podcast that Samoa Joe was going to win, and that was when I was changing my mind, because originally I thought, hey, Roman Reigns, you know, they're going to give him a makeup victory, but you know, Samoa Joe the week before Backlash, AJ, you know, I'm coming for that title and blah blah blah. I was thinking, okay, well, they're going to push him. They're at least going to make him look legitimate. Nope, not at all. And one thing I was going to add, I'm glad that you mentioned about the beginning. Prior to the beginning of the match was that when Joe was pretty much tossing Roman Reigns around like a rag doll, I thought, oh, good. Look at the time. They're just going to end it in a no contest. They're going to show us some mercy here. That wasn't the case at all. It was not the case at all.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. And I don't really understand that. Plus, the fact that I mean, you can talk about the match went on for a long period of time. It just there was a lot of issues with that match. But again, the fact that Roman Reigns wins, I don't really understand how this helped him, because Samoa Joe was on SmackDown, and it just didn't make any kind of sense. You know, it feels like with this card, a lot of the matches that happened, some of them didn't make sense because they had no importance whatsoever when you think about the fact that you just had the superstar shakeup. I mean, they didn't really feel important, and it felt like it was very predictable. Like I said, with Miz and Seth Rollins, there was no way in hell Miz was going to win that match. So it just, some of those matches just feel like they were left over. So I didn't understand that. So very quickly, the other two matches that I will complain about as well. Yeah, AJ and Shinsuke, you know, that match, I guess you could say it was better than the other two matches they had in WWE. But the finish, you know, I did not like that finish. And then on SmackDown, no follow-up whatsoever. You know, you had the two guys talk and said, oh, it's not over. It's not over. So, I mean, obviously, speculation is going to be a last man standing match next because of that. Well, whatever. But I just, I'm also tired of that also. But again, I will say this. What I find interesting is these guys had 3 matches all in the span of a month. Was it? No, because Backlash was last week. That was the beginning of May. Okay, so no. But they had 2 matches last month. You know, you had the WrestleMania match, and then you had the Greatest Royal Rumble match. So, yeah, it's a lot going on with all of that. But very disappointing finish, I will say, and that's unfortunate. The final match, yeah, guys, it's tough. Like you said, it's real tough. Real tough.
A waste. I'm
gonna give a shout out to Daniel Bryan and Big Cass.
Just.
Well, say what?
Man, whatever. I mean, the thing, Brian. That's the other thing. When did they start having where when a person comes back from injury, they just start losing again? Like they did it with Joe. Now, see, came back from injury. Yeah, he lost. Then, of course, Big Cass, he comes back. He starts to beef with another guy who comes back. But you know what? That's the guy we're giving the big push. You're going down on this one. Why are they doing it? They've never done that. You know, when a guy comes back, you got to make him look strong. You got to give it's like a refresh. You know, he's coming out of the lake of reincarnation. He is back. Let's see him in all his glory. Maybe a new gimmick, maybe a new move. None of that for Cass. He's still a prick. He still comes out doing his same El Generico stuff. You know, no pun with the real El Generico. But the whole thing is he's just, like you said, he's got no character. And he comes out and he's still with this here, I'm 7 foot tall, you know? And it's like, okay, well, you know what? You just got caught. You're done. You tapped out. You know, then what was the point? And it just shows the crowd wasn't even into it. They started chanting Enzo during that match.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm like, oh, is this going to be it? Is this going to happen now? Every time he comes out, we're going to have to hear Enzo, Enzo, Enzo. That's the last person we need back. Oh. You know, so, man, they got to do something with him. You know, it's as if he just came back. It's like, all right, I'm ready to go. All right, well, just go out there and do you. Oh, by the way, you're going down for this match. I just got back. Whatever. You know, you know, it sucks.
Seth Rollins got cashed in on when he came back from his big injury, remember?
Yeah. So it's
a history of this.
Well, one comment I will make about that particular match is, you know, I don't really think Daniel Bryan is getting the push either because of what happened on SmackDown. You know, that is a lot of speculation what came out of that because everybody thought he's going to definitely win the qualifying match. But we'll get into that here shortly. But no, I have something to say about that. But in regards to this match with Big Cass, yeah, I did think Big Cass was going to win. Obviously, they had him beat up Bryan after the match, so I guess you still try to show he's somewhat strong in this feud. But I don't know. I think he tapped way too quick when Daniel Bryan did that lock. You know, there was no attempt whatsoever to try and sell anything. He just said, "Oh no, I'm in so much pain," even though he just did this lock on me, but 3 seconds ago. So I didn't get that, but overall, just a bad pay-per-view, like all of you have said, a horrible show. Bobby Lashley,
shortest match of the night too.
Oh yeah, that was the shortest match. And Bobby Lashley, I'll give a special a shout out to Bobby Lashley because.
No, don't shut him out.
That match was also disappointing as well. So
he's a disappointment. I've been telling you this. I'm happy that we're on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that said, let's move away from Backlash because it was a bad show. For those that enjoyed Backlash, I just say that
I did like the one match, the opener, The Miz and Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
and I just want to say that I was really angry because I thought that the rest of the pay-per-view would be at the same level.
Well, I have to agree. You know, when I looked at this card initially, I figured, AJ and Shinsuke, that's going to be excellent. You know, it had to be better than what the other matches they had. But unfortunately, that ending, you know, I mean, I really feel like with that match, everything up until the end of the match was totally fine. You know. But when it got to the very end and they decided to have that finish where, the stupid referee, like, let me just count. They're not going to get up. I was like, what the hell kind of end is this? But whatever.
The double kick was fine. It's just ending the match on that is what was dumb.
Yeah. And then you know how you've seen times where like the GM will come out and say, wait a minute, we're not going to end the match like that. We're going to continue the match. Where the hell was that at the pay-per-view? I was expecting Paige or somebody to come out and say, okay, hold on a second. We can't end the match that way. But no, instead, they're just going to have another match of Money in the Bank, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I can't believe it. They took what a lot of people called the dream match and turned it into just a pile of crap.
I've been telling y'all, WWE is where dreams go to die, but nobody listens to me.
It's the nightmare. That's what he said. He turned the dream into a nightmare. Okay. All right, so let's move away from Backlash. So then, unless anybody has any other thoughts.
Nope.
All right, so let's go to Monday Night Raw. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on Monday Night Raw. I don't believe that Ricky has seen Monday Night Raw. So, because he, as you said, he's done with WWE for a while. So Yeah.
I took it off my TiVo.
Whoa.
Raw and
SmackDown. Take it easy.
Yeah, that's right. Raw and SmackDown.
What do they say? What do they say in the video game community? I rage quit.
Yeah, he's broken. He's broken.
I'm broken. And now I'm woken. That was bad. I'll never do that again.
Whoa, yeah, don't do that. But man,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Dana, how about you go first and let me know what you didn't like about Raw and what you did like about Raw? Because I already know one thing that you didn't like. So yeah.
I wanted to say this also, just I guess backtracks. It's a big segue thing for both Backlash and the whatchamacallit. My thing is that I really can't stand what they're doing to Ronda all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
Like they built her up and made her this big thing, and they kept saying she's gonna be, one of the guys, and she's gonna, be on the show, and she's just a regular wrestler and everything is gonna be great. And then they just kind of threw her away to this stupid little natty, situation that I don't even understand what they were fully trying to do. And I think it's just a waste. And they're paying her reported like $1.4 million.
Yeah, that's easy money for her. It's not her fault. Creative has nothing for her. That's it. It doesn't matter.
How can you? I just don't understand. Why is it so hard to just think of something?
Hard.
It's like they can't even think of anything, so they just leave them aside. I just don't get it. But the whole Ronda Rousey,
they have no clue.
So I have the answer to that question. It might be considered a bit controversial and it might get some hate, but I just have to say it. Ronda is still very green. The fact that they have her in this feud with Natalya,
she's stay green if she's not having matches.
Well, you're right about that.
It's like practice makes perfect.
No, you're absolutely right about that. And the fact that they have her with Natalya, I mean, Natalya is the one who was training her, working with her. So that's the only reason why that feud is going on. I guess they don't feel comfortable just putting her with anybody yet because she has to earn that.
But you've come off of such a really great match, and then now all of a sudden you're just there to pet Natty in the corner.
Yeah,
it's absurd because they'll talk about, oh, look at how quickly Ronda's learning. She's a natural, all this stuff, and you don't see her wrestle again forever. It's like,
oh no, you'll see her at maybe Money in the Bank. Definitely SummerSlam because she got that Brock Lesnar performance contract. You only gonna see her at these big events. Because Monday Night Raw, I think she's had one match since then. I don't know if that's accurate.
And they said that they gave her a regular contract.
It could be. Well, you know what? It could be because she has that regular contract that they're like, you know what? What's the rush? She's green, but we have her. Let's figure things out, baby steps. But this is more like infant steps because she's not even in the ring to do anything. Unless what happened to the whole rumor that she was supposed to do this whole house show tour against Mickie James? That Mickie says she would get her over the whole being green and that they work together.
I thought that was the European tour.
Well, she'll be on TV next week, I believe, because she is going to be in London. Shout out to Gary, Carl, and Ramis because I think they're going to SmackDown next week. So yeah, but
Gary Schweibe.
That's right.
Eater of men.
Whoa. Okay, I don't know about that.
Of science fiction.
Oh, there you go. That's
I'm on chapter 4, page 6. Look for me. Get the book.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, Dana. Okay, so what did you like and didn't like about Monday Night Raw? If there's any highlights.
So anything that they're doing with Ronda, I can't stand. We already know the buildup between Roman and Brock that really didn't do anything for me. I was just dead inside. I don't like the way they said they're booking Drew McIntyre. I just think that I just don't like it. He deserves more. He really does. Go to ROH. Go to Ring of Honor.
No, you say that, but there's no money in these places. Did you not see that video that got posted around at the guy? There was a guy who was at one of the shows, and it was a main event show, and it was like empty, and it was a small place.
I don't know. Go to New Japan. Boom.
No, it's all about timing and when they figure out what's going on. Right now, they're having a lot of issues.
Well, if there's anybody to blame, it's Dolph Ziggler, because Dolph Ziggler probably shouldn't have re-signed that contract. I mean, Drew McIntyre is a guy who obviously should be all the focus is on him now, but they got him in this little tag team. So I guess we got to blame Dolph Ziggler for that. So
I'm blaming everyone. It's just stupid. Why is the Ascension still here? Why do they exist? I don't get them.
Well, I believe
they're doing nothing.
Well, I think the answer to that is, Ricky's a fan of the Ascension, so maybe they're around so that they can hope that they can get him to watch Raw again.
So they can please Ricky.
Yeah.
The Ascension are a draw, people.
The Ascension wants to please you, Ricky.
Yeah.
But then
that's taken way out of context there. Way out of context.
Sorry.
The Ascension are hot garbage, just like everything else on the product. But go ahead.
Everything else, Bobby Lashley again continues to exist, and he was facing the same darn match that we saw on Backlash. So that was stupid. The Alexa Bliss thing, she did the fake public service announcement. That was, I don't know why they're continuing this. Stupid. Yeah, everything else was just dumb. No way, Jose. Oh, and also, can I just say really quickly that for the Backlash, it's really sad that the best part was a dance segment with the whole Bobby Roode.
Oh, yeah.
That is really bad when a dance segment that featured twerking wrestlers was the best thing.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah. Horrible.
That's not good.
Yeah. That was everything. Yeah, Raw was forgettable.
All right, so I think I can go next real quick. I know we got 2 qualifying matches for it was more than 2. We had it was good to see Ember Moon qualify for the women's Money in the Bank. That's good, even though I don't believe that she'll win the match. We saw Braun Strowman beat down Kevin Owens, and I know Kevin Owens celebrated a birthday this week, so glad to see that Vince decided to deliver him the gift of another loss, because that was really special. Of course, we had that main event triple threat match with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn. And one thing I noticed about that match, and this goes right back to what was said earlier in the show about whoa.
Sorry.
Oh, I know. This goes back to what was said earlier in the show about Roman Reigns. The fans were cheering when Sami Zayn and Finn Balor were beating the hell out of Roman Reigns, because at one point in the match, they went outside the ring and then they teamed up and were doing finisher moves, everything on Roman Reigns, and left him in the audience area. So I laughed at that because they were actually cheering when that happened. So, of course, Roman Reigns was about to win the match, and then we had Jinder Mahal interfere in the match and cost him the match, and then he gets taken out. And, of course, Finn Balor advances. Now, Finn Balor, I already know that I do not expect Finn Balor to win that match for Money in the Bank. But obviously, maybe they are going to try and do something with him because they haven't been doing anything with him as of late. So we'll see what they do, what direction that whole storyline goes. But as for Raw, I would say overall, pretty disappointing. Oh, look at there you go, advertising. Pretty disappointing show for me. I'm curious to see who else qualifies in this Money in the Bank match. I don't think they have announced the other matches for Raw yet. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So how about you, Adam? Anything that you like or dislike from Monday Night Raw this past week?
Anything I liked or disliked? I liked when it ended. I know a lot of people are just shutting off now. They're like, all they're going to do is hate on it. It's not that. We know they have the talent. We know it. We know they have the talent. We're not hating on the performers. No. We're hating on the whole creative aspect of how they're using these performers. And that's a shame. and we know that they have quality, and we know that if certain people were in charge, the product would be better. Just watch NXT, watch 205 now. The quality and the just the overall packaging is entertaining. It's fun. I want to watch these shows. I dread watching Raw. Yeah, I jump in on it, but it's like I feel like they're just throwing more BS after BS after BS, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. So I really wasn't into it. So there goes that.
Yeah, I got you. So okay, let's go from. Well, you go ahead, Ricky.
I was just gonna follow up on that. The most talented roster in the history of the company,
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's ridiculous the quality that they have on here. It's one of those things that, for anybody who knows Game of Thrones, is like shame, shame, shame. That's what people should be chanting during these matches. Because it was like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting this? Why do we have these talking segments? What is going on?
Because they don't realize what they have. They just look at, hey, Roman Reigns, this is the guy that we got to push. This is the guy we got to push. So,
all Vince's fault.
Yeah, it is. It's all Vince. It's his company, so he got to assume. He got to assume
big dog.
That's right, the big dog. So let's move on to SmackDown. I only have a few things to say about SmackDown. Obviously, we had the other two qualifying matches. So we had Rusev defeat Daniel Bryan, and we had The Miz defeat Jeff Hardy. Now, to go back to what I said earlier, Rusev is somebody that is still over with the fans, even though they want to push him as a heel.
Yeah, all right, keep going. No, that's
yeah, that whole Rusev Day is still over with the fans, even though they continue to push him as a heel. So I know there were people that was a little angry when they saw Rusev beat Daniel Bryan, but this is what I was saying. The Money in the Bank, typically when the heel, that's something that the heel should win, because they're the ones that interrupt the match and cash in the contract. So the fact that Rusev and The Miz are in that match, I think that's great. I actually am hoping somebody from SmackDown wins now, because you have Braun Strowman and Finn Balor, so they qualified on the Raw side. So that's fine. But yeah, I'm totally fine with the direction that they're going in terms of the heels for SmackDown, because that's who should win it. So we'll see where that goes. And the other one comment that I will make is that very happy to see that Andrade is making his debut next week.
What happened to that? That was supposed to already happen. And they were like, oh, he'll show up. What about Sanity? Remember, they kept saying Sanity was going to show up, and that didn't even happen.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I don't know what happened with that. I know I saw Nikki Cross show up on NXT this past week. So I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing with Sanity, but yeah, they need to figure. I mean, obviously, I guess they're waiting for the right time to introduce them. They did have a segment of the Bludgeon Brothers backstage, which I found interesting, where I guess they just did like their little promo. They're done with the Usos, so obviously the question is, who is the next team they're going to face? I don't know, because they have Cesaro and Sheamus fighting a New Day now, so we'll see. But Dana, did you have anything that you like to dislike about SmackDown Live?
I like the Jeff Hardy and Miz opening match. I thought it was a little long, but it was still good. I thought they botched, but they didn't botch. I liked it. Kept me entertained. So that's a plus. Yeah. The thing with the whole Daniel Bryan thing, I think WWE is probably punishing him for coming back and, forcing them to basically sign him because they don't want to lose him. So that just seems to be my only justification as to why he's losing everything. Rusev is over, so I don't mind that he won the qualifying. That whole AJ Styles Shinsuke segment of, I don't speak English, but I speak English when I want to thing. To me, it's gotten less funny. I didn't like it. I can't stand Carmella's existence, so I didn't like that. The whole Sanity thing and Almas, I don't want them there. So I'm happy they never showed. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I am very happy. No, and not even anything negative. It's just like WWE does not know what they're doing right now. And those are very talented people. I don't want them there. So keep them as far away as possible. Maybe just keep teasing them. Remember how they did Emma? Well, they kept teasing and then she never showed. Just do that.
She's hurt now. She's at Ring of Honor. She got hurt. She couldn't be part of that big show, and she's off of that Cody special that they're doing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Which is not even part of Ring of Honor. It's like their own thing. It's not even a promotion. It's almost as if they're just doing one-offs.
Oh,
so
that's sad. Cesaro almost killed Xavier, and he bit his tongue, so he's going to be out. The Bludgeon Brothers thing, I don't know what they was trying to do with that whole action figures. That was just odd. Like, I thought it was one of those, like, you know how they sometimes have those commercials, but it's just end up being like one of those WWE promo things built in with a commercial? That's what I thought they was going to do. Like, they're introducing a new line of, action figures. I was confused by that. I don't like Mandy Rose. I cannot stand her. I'm happy that
I forgot about that.
I cannot stand her.
Yeah, she advanced in the women's Money in the Bank.
She did, and I don't know why. And they keep screwing over Becky Lynch. I guess she's gonna just have quinoa, Twitter post until they do something with her.
Oh well, I can confirm why they did do that with Mandy Rose.
Why?
Because they think that she's hot.
Well, is she with Shane or something? Because I don't get it. Is she going off with Daddy Vince? I don't get it. Mandy, to me, she's.
You can't do that anymore. Those days are over.
Well, you can't do that.
You just can't do that in public. But her winning over Becky Lynch says otherwise. Yeah, I thought it was better than Backlash, and it was better than Raw. So yay, SmackDown.
Yeah, no, SmackDown was all right. SmackDown was all
right.
Tell that Rusev man, woo!
That
Rusev, that was the biggest surprise of the night.
Oh yeah. The Rusev chants in the Daniel Bryan.
The legit
him winning.
Him winning clean.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that was part of the deal for him to not walk away for the third time.
I still don't believe any of this shit about him walking away. I need more proof than just people saying, "Oh, we think he's," because they always say that. They've been saying that for years.
No, Rusev likes to work the fans on Twitter and everything.
I feel it's all BS. He's not going anywhere. It's sort of like the Dolph Ziggler thing. He's not going anywhere.
Well, here's the question: wasn't there the rumor of Rusev Day breaking up? Is that
they're building towards that?
They're building towards that. That's no rumor. They're bringing it up in story now.
So in other words, is that a spoiler that Rusev is going to win the Money in the Bank?
I don't want him to.
Not necessarily. I mean, we got to see what this whole match looks like. You have to remember that last year's Money in the Bank match had it was six wrestlers deep, and it looked very promising. And they went with arguably the worst guy out of that match to win it.
Well, hold on, who was that?
Baron Corbin. that match had Kevin Owens, it had AJ Styles, it had Shinsuke Nakamura in it. Yep. And they went with Baron Corbin. Much respect to Corbin, great guy. I was glad to meet him and all that. But
so he will be gutted after he hears this show. Like, hey, wait a minute, that's that guy. That's that kid. Yeah, he gonna be gutted.
That's that little punk.
Yep.
Yeah. No. They wasted the briefcase on him and all that. So that was a shame. And I hope they don't do that again for a while.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. So, wait, Adam, you had any other thoughts on SmackDown, or you good to go?
That was it. That was the main thing for me, seeing that whole thing with Rusev and Daniel Bryan. Because I was like, wow. I mean, think about it. That just changes the whole dynamic of like, well, Big Cass is supposed to be having this whole feud or whatever beef with Daniel Bryan. But now Daniel Bryan should have a beef with Rusev. I mean, he probably won a rematch. But then again, wasn't the whole point of bringing The Miz over there was for Daniel Bryan to go at it with him? Like, what is happening?
Well, here's the thing. That is why I say the Money in the Bank match should be interesting, because Miz is also in that match now. So if Miz wins, I could see he could cash in the title, beat whoever it is, whether it's AJ or whoever is the champion, and then you have a WrestleMania match, possibly Miz versus Daniel Bryan, because obviously they're delaying that match. They don't want to have that match right away, because I remember they had that whole segment when Miz did come back on the show, and he was saying, oh, he's a changed man now. He has a daughter. He doesn't really want to get into this stuff with Daniel Bryan. but yet obviously this is something where they're just going to delay it a little bit longer. They don't need to rush and get to it. So it is going to happen though at some point in time. It definitely will happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, so let's move on to the final other two shows that took place. I didn't see 205 Live. So Dana and Adam, did you have any thoughts on 205 Live this week?
Buddy Murphy getting the push. No, he's good. Buddy Murphy's legit. I mean, we're seeing a performance from him that we've never seen when he was in NXT and that tag team. He's another one who has the same theme song. I forgot the name of that group, but it was him and another dude. I forgot his name, but they had like the dubstep song. Anyway,
Wesley Blake, I think it was.
Yeah, Wesley Blake. Wesley Blake.
And I remember when they made him DLC for 2K17, and I'm like, wow, that's a no thrill. Who the fuck wants this? It was like future NXT. But you know what? Buddy Murphy, he lived up to it. I mean, the guy is definitely striving, and 205, there's no way he's fucking 205 pounds. That dude is jacked. And I even said before when they remember that whole story of like, oh, he didn't make weight. Then they stopped testing him. I bet you he's not making weight every night. But the point is, he is very much a high flyer. He's very technical. He's a performer. Great. And he's pretty good on the mic too. So he had a great match with Mustafa Ali, who's just phenomenal. I mean, they were doing spots, crazy spots. He pushed, they were up on the top rope, and it looked like Mustafa was on the outside, like on the outside of the ring apron on the top, ready to grab him to like flip Buddy out of the ring off the top rope. It was looking crazy. No table was set up or anything. And instead he pushed Mustafa. Mustafa wound up doing a backflip, landing on the ground, but like on his back. It was crazy. I'm like, the bumps that Mustafa is willing to take. I mean, if there's anybody hungry there who's striving, who's like, I'm gonna prove that I deserve a top spot, it's Mustafa Ali. By far. So that was a great match. Buddy got the win for that, but it was all right. It was getting payback because Mustafa beat him, and that was their whole thing. And that was great. Then there was another match before. There was the Lucha House Party. They do that. The three Lucha guys, and they were going against some other people. I forgot who it was, but what really stood out for me was just that match right there with Buddy Murphy. So I'm glad things are working out. And let me see. That's it for the way I felt about 205. Anybody else?
Yeah, poor Hideo. They just don't.
No sympathy for that. That's why he's doing that. No sympathy for that, because he's doing again. Woe is me, and that's why he broke up from the tag team when he was with what's his name? Fuck, shoot, the other Japanese dude. Oh man.
Tozawa, right? Was it Tozawa?
Because, yeah, Tozawa keeps messing up. Yeah. And he's like, who I am? I'm a Hideo Itami. I don't need a tag partner. Why they put me tag partner? And he's right. No, he's right. Why is he with a tag? The guy created like a majority of the main moves that we see now. Most of the move sets that Finn Balor does were created by, Hideo. But that said, those dudes are already here and they're doing those moves. I mean, he was doing a go to sleep, came up with go to sleep, but don't matter because CM Punk made that shit famous here in the States. So regardless of you creating it or not, it's who's doing it now. Just ask the people, with PUBG and Fortnite, and so doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But yeah, no, they're doing a whole gimmick of woe is me, and now I'm gonna go solo, and now I'm gonna kick everybody's ass. They keep trying to push him like that, and it's sad. It's sad. Because it's just not kicking off. Like he was in NXT for what, I think 2 years, but most of the time he was out due to injury. And he had some big matches, but it just never really kicked off for him. So then they're like, all right, we'll move you to 205 and see how that goes. And it looks like more of the same. So maybe they'll say, one last push, because they paid a lot of money to bring this dude. He was a big deal in Japan, and it was a big deal when he signed. Yeah.
I was going to say that with Hideo, that he debuted in NXT in late 2014, and he didn't get called up to the main roster until like just recently.
He's not even on the main roster if you count 205.
Yeah.
He's wrestled on Raw because of a 205 match, but he's never been to the main roster.
Well, I mean, I think of it in the terms of being on tour with the main roster. So, like, even though you're not on Raw or SmackDown,
he's on tour with the SmackDown.
He's on tour, so he's not, he's no longer on tour with NXT. But yeah, he was, and a lot of that had to do with injury. But he toiled down the NXT for years, and it looked like they were actually going to aggressively call him up, in 2015, because you'll remember that he appeared. He was the NXT representative in the Under the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania 31. But he got injured, and that set him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of injuries. Almost all the injuries have set him back. That's the downfall. The man, he can work, but then, like I said, besides that, all the injuries, all the moves that he's made famous, the stomp, the flying stomp to the corner, the list goes on with the moves, the go to sleep and stuff. But we're seeing that all the time. The sling blade. Everybody does the sling blade. It's like we have it becomes a sling blade fest between Rollins and Balor. Back to back. When Young Bucks with their super kicks, you know what I mean? It's like everyone's doing this, so it's no longer special. If you ever watch, people need to watch a sling blade in slow motion. It looks cool, fast, but slow. Then you get a real feel of what they're trying to do. Which is like a spinning 360 type grab of the neck pull that Macho Man used to do.
Yeah.
So. Whatever, we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully something will stick.
Yeah,
I think.
Hopefully,
I think if they go the route of stables, move him up. They can't now because they sort of squash it, but move him up, move Tozawa. You already have Asuka, and then have Shinsuke as the leader, and a Japanese group right there. There you go.
And then have Kyrie follow them afterwards, right?
Wow.
Since we're going there.
But I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with going there. I mean, this is all to get the push. We've seen this countless times. They've done it with Canada groups. I was going to say Kennedy groups. They've done it with the Canadians. It was very popular in Impact. Team Canada. Bobby Roode is from the team. Who else was it? There was someone else big from Team Canada made it. There was somebody else. The one that did the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Williams. He made it. That was a big time. So that can work. I mean, it doesn't have to be the traditional stereotype type of thing. I mean, they could just be badasses.
Yeah.
But
we'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Dana. So you had any other thoughts on 205 Live or?
No, it was just a really great match, much better than Backlash and Raw and SmackDown. And next week, I look forward to Murphy and Mustafa Ali.
Wait, they're doing it again?
I believe, aren't they doing it again?
I didn't know that.
I thought they were doing it again.
Oh, well,
doing it again?
A rematch?
Possibly.
I thought it was a rematch.
Yeah. They did their match.
Well, it'll be. I expect them to do it again. Like, if not next week, then definitely soon.
Soon, yeah.
But yeah, overall, it was really good.
It's fun.
And I like it. It's fun, and everyone's talented, and there's no Bobby Lashley, so I like it.
Yeah, no Bobby Lashley is an important part of that. So let's move on now to the final show that and I actually watched this show, NXT.
Wow.
Yeah, so I will just say a few quick things about NXT. I'm looking forward to seeing Ricochet feud with Velveteen Dream after their little exchange. I can see what Adam said, where he said Ricochet isn't really that good on the mic. But I mean, I'm still intrigued to see where they're actually going with that whole storyline. Since Ricochet claims that he should be that he thinks that he's going to go after the NXT title, ain't no way in hell he going to leapfrog all these other people that are already running for that. So, but that was interesting. We still have the Johnny Gargano storyline going on with Tommaso Ciampa, and of course, the NXT title is also involved in this to some extent because Aleister Black is the one that they actually, that's the one that Johnny Gargano wants to challenge for the title. So I'm very curious to see what happens with that match. I mean, I in no way in hell do I ever expect Johnny Gargano to actually beat Aleister Black, obviously, but we'll see what happens with that. I know that there was speculation it might be a triple threat in the future with those three for TakeOver at the end of the summer. I would not have any issues with that match whatsoever. And of course, last thing I will say, I got a chance to watch Adam's favorite up-and-coming team, the War Raiders. Horrible name, by the way.
That's the thing. They're great, but the horrible name.
Yeah, horrible name. Great team.
Oh.
They beat the hell out of Heavy Machinery, so that was interesting.
It's both terrible names because now I'm thinking of welding.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds good.
Gosh.
So, how about you, Dano? Anything that you liked or didn't like about NXT?
I loved everything, and I don't care if Ricochet is terrible on the mic. He can wrestle.
He can.
He doesn't have to say anything.
I mean, he's trying. He sounds
and I like
Roman Reigns, that's for sure.
He's definitely better than Roman Reigns. There ain't no doubt about that.
And Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this Velveteen Dream feud that they're gonna do.
Yeah, the feud is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna bring happiness to all our lives.
I mean, we saw the ladder match, and that was just incredible. And those two really go at it. And to see that match, I can't wait. I cannot wait at all. I bet you it will be better than the Shinsuke AJ Styles one. Vince is not involved. But yeah, that's going to be very great. I look forward to that. I thought the show overall, once again, was very good. Velveteen Dream is just wonderful to watch. He is. He's just really great. EC3 was there, and I think he was great as well. He improved a lot if you watched him on TNA. So,
you know what? I just thought of something. I had a question, and perhaps Dana, you and Adam can answer this question. So, Dakota Kai, are they trying to make this like another version of Bayley, like a character you feel sorry for? Because they have this whole thing where she's scared of Baszler. I'm not understanding where the fear is coming from.
Because of the arm. When she first started, she was the first to get that weird arm. It's not an arm break, but it looks devastating. The arm attack. Right? She was the first to take that abuse. So that whole thing is like, have you recovered from that? She kicked your ass pretty bad and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they're going for. But Dakota Kai is cool. I think it's going to work out for her. I looked her up when they first got her. She's from New Zealand. Yeah, she's from New Zealand. So there's a big deal from that. Not many wrestlers come out of New Zealand. We get Australia, but not New Zealand. So I looked her up, and she's won titles, and she's legit. She's good, and she's got her same finishing move, which is like that weird run around 360 kick to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should work out. I think it'll be all right.
Cool. Okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I think she's better than Carmella. If you want to go down that road,
she's definitely better. Oh, absolutely.
That's a low bar to clear.
Well, listen.
No, but
she actually wrestles, so she by default she's gonna be better than Carmella.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People keep saying, "Oh, it's the time for wrestling when women in wrestling." That's true, but there's some that got there not from wrestling. She was a cheerleader and stuff, so she didn't get there from wrestling. So now she's there from wrestling, but I just never put her in the same category as Becky and Bayley and Banks. Even Bayley, it's like, but Bayley's, she can still go. She can still take bumps and stuff.
They have destroyed Bayley.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with Carmella is that she's comfortable on the mic. She plays a good heel. She's that type of the traditional, annoying, scared, always trying to cheat, could barely win a match heel. That was Ric Flair. Ric Flair was awesome on the mic, but if you look at his matches, he was taking a lot of bumps. He wasn't doing much, and he would always talk about that too. He's like, I take a lot of back body drops and stuff. I don't really do much, but I can sell a match. He gets all red in the face. He does his dance. People love the mic work. They look forward to him coming out, and styling and profiling to sell the match. And I think that's what they see with Carmella getting on a mic. She's getting a lot of mic time. So let it go. I mean, and this is a perfect fit for her. I mean, for the meantime, as a placeholder, because you got Flair that's hurt. You got Asuka sort of in the mix, but they're setting something up big for her. So let's see how it plays out. Give the heels a belt. Everybody knows heels work better with belts. So
absolutely.
Yep, they work better also with better storylines and writing.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
I was gonna say that I didn't watch NXT, but I'd say that if Velveteen is having a program with Ricochet, then it's bound to be a good one because Velveteen has done a great job as far as character work, and then with Ricochet, he's amazing, in the ring and everything. And I just remember the Velveteen Alistair feud and the chemistry that they had together, and it was actually surprisingly good. And so, yeah, I probably have. I don't know. I have to see what happens with as far as Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, but should be good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, any final thoughts on NXT before we wrap up tonight's show?
No, it was a good. It was decent. It was exactly what I expected.
That's the thing. It's again, people are like, well, it's only an hour long. Well, then maybe that's how long wrestling should be. Maybe we don't need these 3 hours. We were all excited. What, more wrestling, more and then we're getting this like, oh, maybe less wrestling, or maybe more wrestling, less talky about wrestling.
Absolutely.
So,
well, we shall see what happens, But I will say this, and I will end off the show on this, and I would like to give a salute to Ricardo because, as he said, that he is now a broken man, and I have to say that Adam will also become broken the minute that Aleister Black is called up to the main roster and immediately jobs to Roman Reigns. So that's
nope.
Yep. It's coming.
Nope.
It's coming. It's coming.
Nope.
It'll happen to you.
Nope.
Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah. Yes, but that concludes our show for this evening. We thank you all for listening. Dana, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give?
Shout outs to everyone who's listening, and also is going to be up on the site. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. There's an interview that I did with Ashley White. She is a WWE super fan, and we, talk about women's wrestling and Backlash and everything, Paul Heyman, and also about, personal struggles with, she's dealing with a lot of health issues and how WWE has basically been her positive light and has helped her with all of her health issues that she's going through. So stay tuned for that interview. That should be very fun and interesting. It'll be up on the site soon.
Awesome. Sounds great. How about you, Adam? Any shout outs that you want to give?
Yeah, shout outs to you guys. Shout out to the people watching, listening, downloading, doing all that jazz. Shout out to everybody at Koalition. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters over at Throwdown, because there are some females there too now. Shout out to there was somebody else I wanted to give a shout out to. Damn, I'm forgetting his name. Oh my lord. Oh, Riku One, who's playing Final Fantasy VII and streaming that. He was on the WrestleCast a few months back, but that's a big deal because he's never played Final Fantasy VII. That was a big deal for a lot of people. For a lot of people, especially myself, that's what really got me into Final Fantasy, the series. So he's actually doing that, and he's doing that on Twitch, so that's fun. Yeah. And that's it. Well, hopefully we'll have a better week of wrestling. I mean, there's a lot of wrestling going on in there. It's we'll see what happens. And everybody is like, oh, maybe this guy should show up. Maybe nobody should show up, because right now when a lot of big names show up, we don't see them doing anything with them. It's great that they're there.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, it's sad. The whole thing just pisses me off. So hopefully things will get better. Yeah, that's it. We just hope for the best. It's just the writing. The talent is there. They have all the talent in the world. Now it's like having all the ingredients to make an awesome cake. You got to know how to bake.
That's right. It. Yeah, the writing and Vince McMahon. That's the other part of the problem.
That's it. So. Yeah. I just hope it happens while all these guys are there. While we have the talent that we have here. And right now it looks like a lot of them aren't going anywhere anytime soon unless they get injured. I mean, there's no big players in the game. That's one thing I do miss about WCW. At least they had, Mr. Moneybags in the back, Turner, who's like, yeah, I could afford to take this guy and do this. So then, I mean, you need good competition. That competition in any industry is good. Because if not, then you have someone with a monopoly like WWE, and people are like, oh, well, there's the indie show, and they've always been there. Those type of federations have always been there. You just didn't know about it. It doesn't change anything. New Japan, I mean, that's why Vince always talks about, oh, they were big in Japan, but he won't talk about when they were big in TNA, because he didn't see Japan and New Japan as a threat.
It's true.
He doesn't care. He's like, it'll never be a big thing here. It's not going to happen. So why should I care? I'll just hype it up. He didn't even see their paid service as a threat, and they have a US TV deal. So whatever.
That's true. How about you, Ricky? Any shout outs you want to give?
Well, I was going to say that I did like with Adam, I liked your ingredients analogy. I was going to say that the roster is like a delicious filet mignon that you have, but instead of actually eating the filet mignon, you throw it to the side and you eat a microwavable burrito instead. It's just that's what they're doing. Roman Reigns is that burrito,
Yeah, no, definitely. It was like you got Joe, you got all these people that can actually sell matches. They can talk, they can work, they can sell, they can do everything, and they're not doing anything with them. They're just feeding them over. It's almost like a Ryback situation.
Yeah, so. It's discouraging, and that's the thing I was gonna say. Well, basically, is that I'm discouraged from the product. So I'm taking time off from it, which means I might take some time off from this podcast for a little bit, but that's no big deal because you guys are still here to hold it down.
So these hoes ain't loyal. So in other words, Ricky is now going to be Brock Lesnar, where you will see him every 6 months. He will make an appearance on the show.
Oh, please. I'm not no special attraction or nothing. Give me a break. I don't move the merch or anything like that. No. I'll still watch the podcast. The thing is, it's not going to be a point of me coming on if it's like, oh, well, what do you think of Raw? Well, I didn't watch it. What do you think of SmackDown? Well, I didn't watch it. Well, then why the fuck are you here?
Oh, whoa.
I will definitely, I'll keep my finger on the pulse of how things are going as far as the product and, wrestling in general and stuff. You'll see me back on here probably sooner rather than later. I'll definitely plan to come back at the very latest for the Money in the Bank prediction show. Because I do plan to watch Money in the Bank, but maybe I'll be on for that, but don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Just continue to all the people who are watching the podcast or listening, continue to do so, support the Koalition, and, keep watching wrestling. And if you don't enjoy what you're watching, watch something else. But watch wrestling. It doesn't necessarily have to be WWE, but watch something. I don't know. I'm rambling here, so I'm just going to stop talking right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I like how Dana's like, yes, please shut up.
Oh, ouch. That hurts. Yeah, so thank you all for the continued support, Patreon supporters. If you're listening on the download or you had a chance to watch live, we appreciate your continued support. Definitely come back on Sunday because we do have a new co-op podcast, and there's been quite a bit of rumors that have, a lot of stuff that happened this week in gaming. So stay tuned for that. And as for WrestleCast, we will be back again next Friday. So until then, take care. Talk to you all later.
Mm-hmm.